between students, faculty, and staff. The committee also heard compelling testimony about the risk of suicide among youth in the District of Columbia. For example, according to the 2012 Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which is a federal survey administered by the Centers for Disease Control, 38% of District of Columbia LGBTQ middle school students had attempted suicide in their lifetime. 28% of District of Columbia LGBTQ high school students had also attempted suicide within the previous year. 20.5% of high school-aged Hispanic young women and 14.1% of high school-aged African-American young women had attempted suicide within the last year in the District of Columbia. Overall, according to the 2012 survey results, 14.7% of our students came up with a plan to commit suicide. If we apply that percentage to today's enrollment, that would be roughly 1,668 students. Further, 13.4% had attempted suicide within the last 12 months. If that percentage remains the same today, we can estimate that roughly 1,520 District of Columbia high school students may attempt to end their lives this school year. These students should be living and thriving, not planning to end their lives. Throughout the summer, my office worked with advocates from the DC Center, the Trevor Project, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and others on the Youth Suicide Prevention and School Climate Survey Act of 2015, which I am introducing today, along with council members Nadeau, Allen, May, McDuffie, Todd, Bonds, Silverman, Che, and Chairman Mendelson. This bill has three components that invest in trauma-informed schools. First, it requires OSCE to develop a training curriculum on suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention to be administered to all schools-based personnel annually. This will give teachers and school administrators to better identify youth who may be at risk for suicidal thoughts, refer those students to mental health professionals, and improve their mental well-being, which is critical to their academic success. Second, it requires all local education agencies to develop a suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention policy, much like they did with bullying prevention policies for the Bullying Prevention Task Force. Third, it requires the Office of State Superintendent to develop school climate surveys to be administered to all students and school-based personnel so we can begin to identify if there are particular school environments that contribute to student stressors. Schools' climate surveys measure the social and emotional learning by examining school norms, values, interpersonal relationships, social interactions, organizational processes, and structures. Taken together, these measures can all help save students' lives. This time, I'd like to welcome any co-sponsors. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Grosso. Are there co-sponsors for this bill? Mr. Evans or Mr. Orange? This bill will be referred to the Committee on Education. Further, Mr. Grosso?